What's up, guys? So we are going to talk about today Xenia, or as everyone says, Xenia is what everyone calls it. So hospitality, being hospitable to guests that come into your home, even strangers, and how that was a huge thing in Homeric work such as the Iliad and the Odyssey. And what triggered this is that there is a modern view of the whole Circe Circe situation that I'll show you that's floating around the internet right now, and how the modern view kind of misses the whole point of what Homer is trying to tell us in the Iliad and Odyssey.
Circe is rarely portrayed as soft. In Homer's Odyssey, she lives alone on the island of Aeaea, a sorceress, daughter of Ilios, the sun god, exiled from Olympus, self-contained, self-sufficient. When Odysseus's men arrived, she does not greet them with submission. She feeds them. She transforms them into swine. For centuries, she has been framed as a temptress, manipulator, a dangerous woman who uses enchantment to control men. But look closer. She does not hunt them. They arrive uninvited. They consume what she offers without question. They underestimate her. Her magic does not create monsters. It reveals them. Circe, or Circe, represents the feminine archetype that refuses vulnerability without discernment. She lives alone not because she is unwanted, but because she does not need attachment to survive. Her power is learned, practiced, and honed. When Odysseus resists her spell with the help of Hermes, she does not destroy him, she respects him. She becomes his ally. She offers guidance for the journey ahead. She does not hate men, she tests them. There is something deeply unsettling about a woman who can survive without needing to be chosen, who can seduce but also strategize, who can isolate but also instruct. Circe embodies autonomy without apology, knowledge without permission, transformation without explanation. She is not chaos. She is sovereignty in exile. And perhaps that is why she's always frightened the heroic narrative. Because a woman who does not need saving cannot be conquered. She can only be met as an equal.
That is a good thing. It's confident in woman building, but it misses the point of what Homer is trying to teach us in the narrative.
So I am going to be reading from this article on Greece is, and the article is called Homer's Hospitality. The tradition of hospitality is a timeless characteristic of Greek culture. Even today, a visitor's first contact with Greek lands and people is often memorably colored by the generous hospitality offered by their host. The custom dates back thousands of years, commemorated in the semi-historical pages of the anonymous bard, or bards we know as Homer, whose frequent descriptions of hospitality highlight the tradition's religious, social, and political functions. It was a sacred responsibility that came under the watchful eye of the Olympian gods. Zeus Xenios, the stranger's god, ruled as hospitality's chief protector. To behave inhospitably was an offense worthy of divine punishment, as hospitality was governed by a well-known code of conduct with duties for both host and guests. Regardless of a guest's identity, king, general, other dignitary, friend, or simple messenger, one had to welcome him in with food, drink, and a shelter before asking any questions. A guest was equally respectful, listening attentively to his host and returning his favor by entertaining the assembled banqueters with his own story.
And you see that in Homer's The Odyssey all the time, and that's why when Odysseus goes to the islands or visits a kingdom, he always brings stories to return to the guests that are hospitable to him. And the ones that are quote-unquote bad guys in the story are the ones that fell Xenia. So not only Circe, but also Polyphemus, because they go to his cave and take the cheese, but they are rewarded in turn by his failing of Xenia, and obviously the Cyclops tries to eat the people. You can just never trust Cyclopes. So it didn't matter if they were strangers or kings, like you heard in that article. God Zeus is the god of guests and strangers, and we welcome them in with hospitality, or Xenia. And that's how it's supposed to be, and that's where Circe failed in the story, and Polyphemus, and everyone, like I said, that was considered bad in the story, and that's where he was trying to go. So the line that gets me, that stood out, is this line right here that says, "She did not hunt them. They arrive uninvited. They consumed what she offers without question." And who else did that? And who is the good guy? If Circe is portrayed as the bad guy or not a good person, who is the good guy? Penelope. So Queen Penelope, she is the example of Xenia in keeping with the traditions of hospitality. She had the suitors, and did they not arrive uninvited and consume what she offered without question? Not only that, they destroyed her kingdom and tried to kill her son. And did she ever trick them? Did she ever try to poison them or turn them into anything? She did not. What she did was brought them into her home. They ravaged everything, slept with her maids and workers. They ate all the food. They destroyed the house. They destroyed the land. And like I said, they tried to kill the kid. And she did not once try to kill them. Everyone loves Penelope. Never a bad word is ever said. No controversies are ever said about her. And is she any less strong? No. She's a very strong woman who kept her head held high, behaved as the queen she was, and kept the hospitality traditions alive and honored the gods in doing so. And like I said, in the end, she is rewarded for that. And so there you go, guys. Just a video I wanted to get into, just talking about Xenia, or as everyone here in the English language say, Xenia. You always hear Xenia, talking about hospitality. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and always keep that in mind as well. I shall end this with a little cute little video on TikTok with Circe and Odysseus from Epic the Musical, from vega.cos. So vega.cos. If you want to look this up on TikTok, check this out.
Back at home, my wife awaits for me. She's my everything, my Penelope. And she's all my power. But it's been 12 long years, oh, 12 long years since I have seen my wife. And now the god of tides is out to end my life. So I beg you, Circe, grant us mercy and let us puppets leave.
Poseidon, eh?